My name is Cassandra Bennett and I am a brain tumour patient. I have been diagnosed with a diffuse astrocytoma, quite a large one. I was diagnosed in July of 2018. It was my sister's birthday. The reason I went in to have a CT scan was that I had been suffering from some headaches that I thought were the result of too many Chardonnays maybe in the evenings after work. But as the headaches went on, I realised that that wasn't the case at all. So I went to my GP. She ordered a CT scan. I went and had the CT scan. And as I was leaving the rooms from having the scan, a radiologist ran out after me and said, "Could you please come in? We need to do an MRI." So from about midday on the 23rd of July, I was all of a sudden, I was a patient. It was my sister's birthday, as I've already said. So my husband and I didn't say much about the diagnosis at the time. We kept it to ourselves for the first 2 days. I didn't tell my family or my husband's family because we just wanted to understand what we were looking at. So after I was diagnosed, I had surgery. I then went into chemotherapy. I had 2 years of chemotherapy. And then most recently, I finished 6.5 weeks of radiation therapy. Being diagnosed with a brain tumour is absolutely as though you walked out of your doctor's office and hit the elevator button and just fallen down the elevator shaft. It was a shock. It was terrifying. And the further I looked into it, the worse the situation seemed to get. The life expectancy for brain tumour patients is glum, and it hasn't changed in the last 50 years. There has been very little advancement in treatment for brain cancer patients in terms of chemotherapy. We haven't seen a new drug on the market since the introduction of temozolomide in the 1990s. We desperately need more funding to help patients take on the brain cancer and to have better outcomes for patients. One of the things that happened when I first started with my treatment was that I realised that there was not a lot of information out there for patients that was in an easy digestible form. There is lots of information that can be retained from a number of different sources. But as I went through treatment, I realised that I was looking at several different things that I needed to manage and had no way of doing so. After I was diagnosed, I started chemotherapy, and during that journey, I did all the runs, I did all the walks, I did all the fundraising I could manage. And so once I had squeezed all of the extra money out of my friends and family, I decided to do something different, something that would help patients in the future. I'm not a doctor, I'm not medical at all. So I sat down with some friends and we created the survivorship diary. So this is a copy of the diary. The survivorship diary has 10 chapters, each one focused on a different stage of treatment. It is a resource that patients take away, and that it is designed to be your brain cancer everything. So if you've had a baby, you will have received the baby book. This is the brain cancer version of the baby book. So we have chapters on medical diagnosis, your surgical notes, how to take down information about your radiation. It has the schedule for each of those types of appointments and for your radiation appointments. There's an area to keep notes for your doctors, who is your specialist. We also have a section on chemotherapy, on mental health, on seizures and neurological health, living with brain cancer, on your financial notes, and palliative care. We also have a section on additional resources, which will tell you all of the places I looked to get detail to create the diary, and a few more, and also where you can find each of those resources. While I was building the diary though, I am, as I said, not a medical person. So one of the things that was key to pulling this together was support from my doctors, and my doctors are from the brain cancer group. So after I was diagnosed, I met Associate Professor Michael Back. Michael is my radiation oncologist, and he has really been leading my treatment thus far. He was also very helpful when I sat down to create brain cancer survivorship diary. Michael and his team, along with Dr. Raymond Cook and Dr. Jonathan Parkinson, have assisted a great deal in helping us build a resource for patients that was medically accurate, but was also written in plain English that patients like you and I could understand, and also for carers. Dr. Raymond Cook and Dr. Jonathan Parkinson were both key in developing the surgical section of the diary. The other really important person throughout my diagnosis has been nurse practitioner Marina Castellan. Marina has been very helpful to me as a patient, but also in helping build the diary. She has been through the document so many times. She's also dealt with patients along the way that have used the diary so that we can help to improve it. Marina's role in this document is crucial, and her role in my care as a patient has also been critical. As a result of writing the diary, I was asked to become an ambassador for the brain cancer group, which I was more than happy to do. But I really have to say, the diary is just one small step. The work really is with the doctors and the researchers from the brain cancer group. This is where we'll see a change in the outcomes for patients in the future, which is really what we're all here for. I'd like to also thank Michael and Marina for their support through my own diagnosis, because it's terrifying on your own, and to know that they've been there has been very powerful in my own well-being. This coming end of financial year, if you have an opportunity to make a donation, making that donation to the brain cancer group will make a real change in patients' lives like myself. But it's not just me, it's my children, my husband. But on top of that, we're also looking for results in relation to patients that have more aggressive forms of brain cancer. I'm lucky, I have a 10-year life expectancy. People who are diagnosed with more aggressive cancers may only live for 8 months or even less. We know that research is the key. Without ongoing research, we won't see any change to the outcome for patients. So any donation you can offer would be very much appreciated. Thank you very much.